time.
What is that on your shirt?
It's Destro.
I'm going to ask again. What is that on your shirt?
I thought you were a kid in the 80s.
I was?
You don't know who Destro is?
I don't remember Destro. That kinda,
Destro.
You keep saying Destro, but I don't know who that is.
What's that symbol right there?
From Queensryche?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
Tell me who Destro is. It from?
No, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look at.
Is it like
up.
from Mr. Roboto from Styx?
You know,
I'm just going to keep you off unless you tell me who Destro is.
There are times that I think we are from the same generation, and then there's other times I feel like I've frozen you, thawed you out from Antarctica. Destro.
Destro. T-R-O. Go. Destro.
If I find out that there's another thing that you can't stand.
A fictional character from the G.I. Joe. Okay, so he's the guy from G.I. Joe. That's all you had to say.
No, I didn't have to say that. I shouldn't have to say that.
I never had a G.I. Joe figure. I was into my Star Wars action figures.
G.I. Joe's had more articulation.
He had the Kung Fu grip.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the podcast that melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Now, here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. I'm Darin.
Mike is me.
How are you? How is you? How's you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm wondering if we should get a restraining order on Chris Hughes. What's the legalities of that?
I think we should, because we've been telling him now for 30 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
To leave us alone.
Yeah.
And he won't stop.
We have graphics on the website.
I know. Banned from the podcast.
So someone has taken their time out of their day, away from their children, away from their job, to create a graphic.
Right.
We have legal representation on retainer.
Yes. Andrew Gibbons.
Yeah. And we're taking time out of our 30-second episode here to discuss it on the birthday of this person.
I know. Today's his birthday, and he acts like it's a big deal.
So,
okay, because it's his 50th birthday.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to get all this special treatment. We're going to make a big deal about him on the podcast, and we're not.
They're not. The big 5-0.
Yeah. Woohoo. I turned 50.
Millions of people
Nobody
turned
made
50.
a big deal about that.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Turn 50 twice.
Yeah.
Turn 100, loser.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Then we'll talk.
You know, if you incorporate, that's basically when a company becomes a corporation, isn't it? Like they become an entity. They're separate from the people. I'm wondering if a corporation can have a restraining order against a person.
So Irritable Dad Syndrome Incorporated.
Yeah,
should take this to the next step.
I will incorporate if it's possible, and I'm asking our legal. Our retainer,
Andrew,
who we can only talk to through our podcast,
right?
Because otherwise we'd have to pay him,
right?
If we incorporate, will that allow us to get a legal? What am I talking about?
A restraining order.
Legal restraining order.
Anybody can get a restraining order,
but can we get it to where? I want to know what the details are that we can get on that.
Okay.
Can we restrain him from
searching us on the internet?
Yeah, thinking about us.
He's listening to us now.
Like if we had it,
and he's not supposed to. We keep telling him.
If we had one in operation now and we enforced it, would it like cut his connection?
I don't know.
Right.
We've got to find that out.
I want to understand that.
But anyway, today's his birthday. I don't care. Do you care?
No.
I
care. Happy birthday, Chris.
Whatever.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's banned. He doesn't care about the rules.
The truth is that if he actually did stop listening to the podcast, we'd lose. Him leaving would lose a third of our loyal listeners. So anyway, it's his birthday. And happy birthday to our only banned listener.
We would lose 80% of our revenue from our merchandise.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we you know what? Speaking of our fans, we got in the mail pink flamingos, a box of pink flamingos. And if you're watching this on the Twitch here, I've got mine right here.
I'm going to retch right back behind here.
I'm going to name mine Pinky.
That's very...
I know, original, right?
I'm going to name mine Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Pinky, yeah. So we have no idea who... Well, we've got kind of an idea who sent these flamingos to us. But, a few weeks ago, I went to Tennessee to see my mom. And I told the story about the pink flamingos that were outside of the.
Floyd's got some short legs.
Yes, he does.
Or butter.
Well, they're there somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, I told the story of how the outside of Food City, the grocery store in Tennessee, they had these pink flamingos.
Yeah.
And I said, and you were upset because I didn't bring you one.
Mm-hmm.
And so our number one fan sends us one.
He claims he's our number one fan. But yeah, he probably is.
And so here's my beef.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about zero bars and how we don't like zero bars.
Yeah.
We get a whole freaking case of zero bars.
Right.
And then we talk about pink flamingos.
Yeah.
And you jokingly, you don't really want a pink flamingo.
Now that I have one, you can pry it from my cold dead hands.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't really want one.
Yeah, I mean, I like my pink flamingo.
Yeah. But I don't really want one.
I mean, how many things have we talked about that people haven't sent us?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is I think we should start talking about some things.
I would love a Jeep 4x4.
I want a PlayStation 5 and a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So what do? Need to tell a story about a Lamborghini?
Yeah. I would love to have like some more movie posters for my movie room.
Yeah.
Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I want things other than pink flamingos and other than zero bars.
Yeah.
Because the zero bar, I mean, that had some substance to it. We were taste testing it.
Right.
We did not approve of it.
No.
So it's kind of funny to send us the zero bars.
Right.
You were just telling a funny story about pink flamingos, and then boom, here's a pink flamingo.
And we got pink flamingos in the mail.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell an amusing anecdote about a PlayStation 5 one of these days.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility.
I would like to have the entire Marvel movie box set.
Well, you practically do every time you borrow half of them from me.
But I'd like to own them.
Okay.
And I've borrowed 3 movies, Mike. I borrowed Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I borrowed Thor. Yeah. No, I didn't borrow Thor.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I borrowed Thor.
Yeah.
By the way, you still have The Sandlot and you never watched it.
No, I don't even.
Right.
I don't.
You've lost it?
I think I sold it to...
Okay, well, I still have your John Wick, so I know you want that back.
I gave you an extra copy. Okay. I actually had an extra copy of that. So now, I swear to God.
So now I have the
4K version over there.
You have an extra copy.
Yeah, that's
John
what
Wick.
I gave you.
How much money do you have that you could just
No, I'm
going to buy 12 copies of John Wick.
I didn't go to the store.
I forgot I loaned that to you.
I didn't go to the store for multiple copies of John Wick. I had it on Blu-ray. Right. It came out on 4K.
By the way, stop acting like you donated a kidney to me when you loaned me a movie.
I know, it's much more important than that.
I know, but I borrowed Blade Runner from you. Yeah. And you're like, I've got an extra copy.
Is that where that is?
Yeah. Oh. I still have it. Well, you said you have an extra copy of it, so you let me have that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I'm wondering, do you have extra copies of everything?
The only things I let you borrow are things that I have a backup copy of.
No, that's not true. That cannot possibly be true. I take care
of... here's the thing. Is usually I get the 4K version and they come with a Blu-ray. So when anyone borrows anything, I give them the Blu-ray.
Right. Speaking of borrowing things, I've told you before, I'm in a band.
Yes.
And it's
an unnamed band.
An unnamed band. We've been together for a couple of years. We finally found a bass player and we rehearsed with our bass player 3 or 4 times. Great guy. Really cool. He's a fantastic bass player.
Okay.
And he's super nice. Yeah. And he's not an
yeah.
You know, we get
like
along.
Like Geddy Lee.
Yeah. We get along really well with him.
Okay.
And so we couldn't agree. That's like the only thing we couldn't agree on is a band name.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine. I got along great with the lead singer, the guitarist. Okay. Super cool guy. Get along great with the bass player. So COVID hits and everybody goes on lockdown.
Yep.
And we haven't rehearsed in a year and a half. And here pretty soon, once we all get our vaccines, we're going to get back together and we're going to start practicing again. We still haven't named the band. So I was thinking...
You want to crowdsource the name with our audience.
We could do that. Yeah. We could ask people to, except for Chris Hughes, we could ask people band name suggestions.
Yeah, there's a good 10 to 12 people out there that we reach.
But I'm telling you, man, I bet you I have found 200 names that are already taken.
Yeah.
Already taken.
Yeah.
So every time I come up with a good one, someone out of Philadelphia or someone in Cleveland or someone in frickin' Norway has this band.
Yeah.
This band name. Yeah. So
you're more appreciative. I would think that you're more appreciative of band names when you see them. Because I remember in the 90s, it was like every possible weird name for a band was coming out. Like, why would you name your band that, like Frog Wiffle or something?
Like I think Jar of Flies is a cool band name.
Yeah.
I'm not really into Jar of Flies.
Yeah.
And
is there a band called Jar of Flies?
Yeah, there's Jar of Flies. There's a group called Mudhoney out of Seattle.
Yeah.
That's a great name for a band.
Okay.
But anyway, so the Commodores, you remember the Commodores?
Yeah.
They found their name.
The 64s and the 128s.
Exactly. Brick House. Lionel Richie and the
Commodores. Joke for all you nerds out there.
They couldn't find a band name, so what they did was they said, we're going to go through the dictionary. Whatever we land on, that's going to be our name.
Yeah.
And they landed on commode. And they said, we can't be the Commodes.
No.
So they changed it to Commodores, and there you go.
Well, they could have invented punk rock if they called themselves the Commodes.
Exactly. So I was thinking, maybe I should try that. Maybe I should read through the dictionary and find, search and do research on words, and maybe then I can get a band name. You know how impossible it is to borrow a dictionary? Nobody has a dictionary. Okay. I reached out to a dozen people at least asking if they have an old school paperback Webster's dictionary. No, it's easier to borrow vibranium. I mean, I could say, do you have a unicorn I could borrow for the weekend? Yeah, we got one in the backyard. Let me go get it. Hey,
I'm so glad that this is where this went.
Yeah.
I was concerned when I saw borrow a dictionary on the rundown, because I'm like, this may be our last episode. If I'm dealing with Grandpa Cox here and he's looking for a dictionary because he wants to look up the definition of whippet.
I just didn't think it would be that hard to find a dictionary.
Yeah. Because so you can't find it in the store? They don't sell them in the store?
I don't want to buy one.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Could you just stand there in the Walgreens and flip through and find your band name? Frosty Whipple.
Frosty Whipple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be our band name.
Saucy Ratchet.
So write all these down because these are real winners and I don't want to forget them. Good God. So I was actually at the office. I've been working from home for over a year.
Yeah.
But I went to the office. I work at a TV station. One of the producers there has one on his shelf and he let me borrow it. And I've been searching and trying to find a good name for a band.
Yeah.
And I still got nothing.
Yeah.
I still got nothing. So, but that's my point. Okay. I could have swore that more people would have still owned a dictionary. Granted, not use one. Yeah. And here's the thing. You ask someone to borrow a dictionary, and the most popular comment, don't you have a phone with the internet? Yes, I have
That's what I was thinking.
That's what you said when I asked you last week, jerk.
I think we do have one, though.
Well, I think
it's like a Shakespearean dictionary.
A Shakespearean dictionary.
I swear it. I think Bess, because she used to be an English teacher, so I think she has like a Shakespeare dictionary in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
I'm so glad that that's where this went.
Wasn't it a great story?
Yeah. It was a relieving story. Right. It made me happy.
So what have you been up to? You went back and visited your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, it was more of a thing than I thought it was going to be. So we went to Hocking Hills, which is somewhere in Ohio.
It's in Ohio.
It's near Athens, which houses Ohio University, which is where I went for undergrad. Okay. And
engineering.
Okay. Yeah. It's the first time I've been back there since 2000 maybe, or 2001.
Wow.
It's been a long time. And same thing for Bess. So it was weird to walk, like as we were getting close, I actually started getting a little misty eyed. Like, cause I started recognizing roads that I had not been on since I was like in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody feels this way about wherever they went to school or whatever they did. But there's like, it's a university. There's tons of buildings. I had a story that I could remember.
I love how you describe the university. There's tons of buildings.
Yeah.
Some of them are big and some of them have windows. And that one over there had a door.
There might be a dictionary in one of them.
I would hope so.
But I had a story.
Like lots of buildings.
Every building I saw, I could think of a story, I was just overwhelmed by memories when I was going back there, and and some of them. So I lived in a couple of different places. So we were going up there. We got a hold of Box. We were going to go see him because he lives there.
Matt Box.
Yeah.
Okay. For people new to the podcast, Matt Box is an old buddy of Mike.
Yeah.
And I met Box a couple of years ago when we all went to see U2 together.
We went to see the U2.
And we decided, Matt and I were talking about we should join a band to be Darin Cox and Matt Box.
Yeah.
Cox and Box.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was so weird seeing all the different buildings and seeing all the different things. And one of the buildings actually reminded me of a story that I don't think I told Bess, or when I told her, she remembered it, but there was a guy there named Stapleton. And that was his last name. We called everybody, all my friends, we were all going by last names and just single syllables. Cause I think I talked about Tay.
And you were Ode.
Like, who's that? I was Ode.
Ode.
So, Stape and I hung out quite a bit. on one of the years, it was all through the thing, but there was like this one period where like, I think it was like summer or something, just about everybody left. It was just me and Stape just hanging out. And we went to, there's a restaurant, or it's like a restaurant / bar. It's one of those things. It's a restaurant during the day, it becomes a bar at night. Casa. All right. And so we decided to go have a beer there. And we walked in and it was unnaturally empty. It was oddly empty, but cool, because we're like, hey, we picked a table right dead smack in the middle. We get dinner or whatever. We're sitting there and people start to filter in.
Right.
Just like any other night. And, we're looking around and we were so stoked that we had the only table, and neither of us wanted to leave the table because we didn't want to lose the table. And we thought it was cool that we were at a table in the middle of all these people walking around, basically a bar.
Right.
Okay. We started to notice something about the patrons.
Okay.
Yeah. But nothing stuck out, to us, it's a college and it's OU. If nobody knows anything about OU, it's won multiple times Party School of the Year. It's a party school.
Right.
Wonderful place to go to school. In terms of academics,
incredible education.
Incredible education. But it's it's got a thing. It's got a reputation of being a party school. So you see things there.
Kids need to let loose.
Let
your hair down.
Yeah. But we just noticed that it seemed like there was a theme there that night, but we couldn't quite put our finger on it.
What was the theme, Mike?
A lady came over the PA and said, "Welcome to sexual ambiguity or sexually ambiguous night at the Casa." And me and Stape just stared at each other and we just started laughing ourselves silly. I don't know how to describe it. There was some difference with that night. So we went from being just a couple of guys having a beer to being on a date. Just like in like that, just with that announcement. And we didn't know what happened. And we didn't care. We were just laughing ourselves silly.
Okay.
And we just stayed there because we didn't want to lose that table.
That reminds me of a long time ago. My buddies Shannon and Chad and I went down to Orlando to see my friend Donnie. Now, I've talked about Donnie on this podcast before. Donnie's the guy with the artificial leg.
Yeah.
And when Donnie would go to bars, Donnie could drink a lot. Yeah. And Donnie could dance his ass off. And then there was the time that he broke his foot on his artificial leg, pulled his leg off and slammed it on the table to tell people that his broken foot was fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when we went to Orlando to visit Donnie, he told us that he's got this place, this perfect bar that we're going to go to.
Okay.
And we said, okay, what is it? He goes, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Okay. So we pull up and this place is huge. It's like an old hotel. I'm sorry, an old motel.
Okay.
The 2-layer motels where you walk in from the outside into your room?
Yeah.
It's a 2-layer motel that was converted into this ginormous bar.
Okay.
And when we're walking in, we instantly figured it out. You're taking us to a gay bar, aren't you? He goes, yes, I am. This was the largest gay bar in Orlando.
Yeah.
This place was happening. I mean, just popping. And there was a drag section.
Yeah.
There was a bear section.
Okay.
We're like, really? There's a bear section.
Yeah.
He says, yeah. Oh yeah. Like, sure.
Don't feed them.
No, it's like you go to the grocery store, you got your frozen food over here, you got your your produce there. Every if you were into bikers, if you were into leather or bondage, your thing was
the Walmart of
it was incredible. It was phenomenal. And so we all walked in there and we instantly had the same thing, had the same thought running through our head. Chad and I were like, you're dancing with me. It was great. We saw a drag show. Never been to a drag show before. And I'm like, my dad would spin in his grave if he knew that I was at a drag show. That wasn't, exactly Dad's thing. Of course. Anyway.
Well, see, part of what made my story uncomfortable for me at the time and in the retelling is not that it was it's that term ambiguity. Like we didn't know what that meant.
I still don't know what that means.
I mean, we know that that's like, it was, like you have gender fluid now. Not, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Not Like,
I don't know what in the hell you're talking about.
Okay, it wasn't here's the straight people, here's the gay people. It's ambiguous. You don't know what anybody is. It doesn't matter. We saw people jumping. I'm going to be jumping ship to go to the other, play the other team.
I'm glad you finished that. We saw people jumping, and I'm like, okay, he's jumping.
And then coming back with somebody else from another, like it was all over the place, and it was happening everywhere and nowhere. It was hilarious and awesome at the same time.
Yeah. It reminds me of another story that I've got to tell, because I don't know when this will ever come up naturally.
Okay.
When I lived in Tennessee, when I worked at my first TV station, about a block down from our station was this bar.
Yeah.
Gatsby's.
Okay.
And
the great Gatsby's.
Oh, it's okay. Dude, I loved Gatsby's. That was my jam. That was my bar. I was like Norm walking into Cheers.
Yeah.
There was one time, Scotty was the bartender. Everybody got there about 9. I got there late, about 9:30. I walked in and Scotty says, "Where you been? I've been worried sick." We would walk in, Scotty would see us, and he would pour a pitcher of our favorite beer, and he would put ours in frosty mugs. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would get frosted mugs.
Yeah.
Everybody else just got mugs off the rack. He would get ours out of the freezer.
Anyway,
so we were there Friday night, Saturday night, both. We sat in the round table in front of the glass window. Anytime you wanted to find us, that's where we were, was at Gatsby's. Well, if I had a long break at work, I would just walk down to Gatsby's, get a burger, and shoot some pool. And I started shooting pool with this guy named, there's 2 people I used to shoot pool with. There was Dollar Bill. The reason his name is Bill.
Yeah.
Everybody called him Dollar Bill because he would only shoot pool $1 a ball.
Okay.
He wouldn't play unless you played $1 ball. Yeah. Now, Bill liked me. He would shoot pool with me.
Okay.
And it was sometimes we would partner and play other people. And I only beat him one time.
Okay.
And then he's like, rack him up. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I've got my victory with you. Yeah. I'm good. Then there was a guy named Charlie. Charlie had a wooden leg, and I would always, if he was there, I would shoot pool with Charlie. We would partner up. Charlie's a good guy. So I'm shooting pool with Charlie, and this woman comes over, and she says, "You guys up for a game of 9-ball?" Like, yeah, sure. Okay. So we racked it up, and she's just having a great conversation with the 2 of us. What's going on? What's your name? Who are you? And what do you do? And we're shooting. Having the game was great. Yeah. I don't remember who won, but she goes, "That was a lot of fun, and you guys have a good night." She walks off, and Charlie says, "That was a hooker." Don't ask me how I know that. Rack 'em up. So I've shot pool with a hooker. Didn't mean to. It's not like I accidentally did it either.
Athens isn't the only place that we went on our trip. I mentioned we went to Hocking Hills.
Okay.
We have a dog, Dakota. And I think you've met her multiple times. You understand she's out of her mind.
Yeah.
She jumps. She's crazy.
She's different when, because I just went upstairs to get the pink flamingos. Yeah. Nobody else was up there.
Yeah.
She's like, "Person, not supposed to be here."
Did she really?
Yeah. Jumping and barking. And
wow.
And then I took off my mask because she didn't recognize me. So yeah, she was either very excited or didn't remember who I was.
Okay.
But yeah, you got a guard dog there.
Oh, good God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's a handful. So she's got this thing of where she tries to escape all the time now.
Oh,
and it's weird. So right before we went on our trip, the day of our trip when we're leaving, maybe like a half hour before we leave, Andrew is taking stuff out the front door. He leaves the front door open. Pew, she goes down the street. Bess and Andrew just go running. I get the car.
Yeah.
And she's heading down towards the main road. She cuts up the main road. I find out later that she ran out in front of a car. They slammed on their brakes. The lady got out of the car, tried to get her in her car, which she wouldn't go in, all this stuff. We chased her down. Me and Andrew had to corner her in the yard. She kept running, all this stuff. So every time she has a chance to get loose, she bolts, and she's too dumb to know that a car's going to hit her.
Right.
Okay. Molly, we have stories of her running off once.
Molly was Mike's old dog.
Yeah, previous dog. And she had enough sense to do it at 3 a.m. when nothing's out in the roads, and then came back like half hour later.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. Dakota, I don't think she would ever come back. I think she'd just be gone. She'd get hit by a car or something. That's my fear. Anyway, so we go to Hocking Hills. What could possibly go wrong with taking a dog out on a hike in Hocking Hills?
Can't imagine.
We're standing at the trailhead. near Old Man's Cave.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these different trails, and Bess she's like, the last thing I'm going to do is get stuck on a long trail that takes forever to get out there and forever to get back, and we're all exhausted. We can't go back. Dakota's jumping around. We're all like, let's just go. So we got on a long trail. Along the trail is a lake. All right. So Dakota was like, Bess takes her down to get a drink. I hear Bess scream, "Oh my God, get her." And I see Dakota bolting up the bank, full speed, headed towards the woods. And we are about 2 miles out in the wilderness. Okay. Andrew and Charlie start screaming. I dove full tilt, 45-year-old man. What the hell are you doing? Dive, arms outstretched, landing on my ribs and everything, grabbing the leash at the last possible second. I remember my fingers closed into the loop as it was going down the thing.
Nice.
And as I skidded there was like a little bit of gravel there. As I skidded into that, I felt it yank. I was like Dad was like the hero after that for like a good 5-10 minutes. But I was like the proudest I think I've been this week was when I woke up the next day and I didn't feel like death.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I'm going to wake up and because I don't know if I probably.
Yeah, you got a scrape on your elbow.
Yeah, that's where
I got a boo-boo.
I have mud and stuff all down my shirt. Yeah. It was pretty badass.
Yeah, my stupid dog, Conrad, we used to have a beagle. And every time he would run away. He would get out of the house. He would not come back. We were yelling. He knew his name. Yelling at the top of our lungs, Conrad, just would blah-de-da, just running.
Yeah. Does it make you feel bad as an owner? Like he wants so bad to be away that he's just going to go?
There were times where I thought, you know what, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting him. And there was one day where I think I had 10 minutes. I had to run home. I had to get a change of clothes for each kids and a snack because we instantly had to run and do karate or scouts or something. And I run home and I let the dog out and I'm getting the snacks and everything. And then I go out into the yard to get him. He's not there. He's nowhere. Someone had left the gate open.
Yeah.
And it had rained.
Yeah.
And it was muddy. And I run out and across the cul-de-sac, there's that stupid dog Conrad just staring at me like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, Conrad, get in here. And I start walking and he starts running. And I start running and I start going faster. He goes faster.
Yeah.
And he's going across yards.
Yeah.
And I have to go across yards. And then I have mud all up on my pants, caked on my shoes.
Yeah.
And I finally got that stupid dog.
You want to strangle him?
I would just, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, my neighbors used to go, Darin's out chasing the dog again. And their kids would come. It was like a thing. Everybody knew that I had the dumbest dog in the neighborhood. Lovable. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I miss him like crazy because every night when I came home, he was always the first to come and see me.
Yeah.
And but still, even up until the day he died.
Yeah.
Like that week, he was still trying to get things out of the trash. He would steal food from the kids. And if the door was open, he would bolt.
Yeah.
He would bolt.
It's just crazy. Yeah. And here's the thing is, and I told the kids and Bess, and I was serious. I said, I'm not, because it was hard enough getting her back when we were in our neighborhood and we knew the area and like people were trying to help us. We had people like trying to help us.
Right.
I was like, if it happens in the middle of the woods, she's gone.
You're getting another dog.
That's it. Yeah. We're not getting another dog. I know deep down, I would be searching for the dog through the woods for hours.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. And I was like, she's gone if she goes. A part of that is why I dove.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm spending 3 hours out here. I'm already tired. We're all tired.
Right.
We're not going to screw up our trip because idiot dog here decides just going to bolt. Like, part of me just wants to let it go. Like, where are you going?
Right. And then people, will tell you need to train that dog. Yeah.
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 Some dogs are trainable. This dog's not that trainable.
No.
Or
Conrad was a beagle. He would not.
Yeah.
He would not. We tried training.
I know that they say that all dogs can be trained, or at least I'm sure somebody says that. Here's the thing. Some dogs are more trainable than other dogs.
That's true. Okay? That's true.
Molly was the way she was, I think because we were lazy, but any effort that we would show, she would learn something very quickly.
Yeah.
Dakota, no.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. I'm sure you've seen the blinds that are hanging off the like one strand when you come through, or maybe you haven't. Maybe you're just
I wasn't paying
blind to them. They've been replaced.
Yeah,
and I'm about to replace them again. And as soon as I replace them, she'll tear them down again.
Yep,
$5 blinds. I'm serious.
That's a good $5. Band name. The $5 blinds.
There you go. $5.
I gotta write that down.
That is a good. Actually, that is
$5 blinds.
Boom.
We'll see what happens.
Some jackass is going to hear this before
someone's already taken it. Well, my son has started. He's 16.
Okay.
And he's decided that he's going to start exercising more. He's in good shape.
Yeah.
He's in marching band.
Okay.
And he's like, I need to exercise and I need to get ready for marching band next year.
Yeah.
So in our basement, we have some minimal exercise equipment. We have a treadmill. We've got, it's not a rower, but it's kind of like a rower. It looks like a bicycle, but you just pull front and back, or what? I don't know what the hell it's called. Our old house, the people who lived there left it there. And so we inherited it. And instead of, we was like, well, we should give it away. I'm like, it's free exercise equipment. We never use it either. But anyway, and then we've got one other piece of equipment.
Okay.
That I got for Father's Day a few years ago. I'd asked for it. And so I wanted this particular piece of equipment. It's an ab bench for doing sit-ups.
Okay.
Because I can't do sit-ups on the floor. I can barely do sit-ups as is.
You said sit-up and I feel panic.
Right. I'm sore just saying the word sit-up. I wanted an ab bench because it really hurts my tailbone sitting on the floor and doing sit-ups.
Yeah.
So I go to, there's a place in Cincinnati called Dick's Sporting Goods, and I'm looking for an ab bench.
Yeah. And
I'm walking all over the place, and I finally see one, but there's not a price tag on it. And so
that's a bad sign.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 or 4 on the shelf.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I say, excuse me, can somebody come and show me how much this ab bench is?
Yeah.
I said, okay. So they go, and then this girl comes. She's got to be
like pigtails and a lollipop.
Well, she looks like she's 16 or 17. Okay. She's that young.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, do they hire that young?
That's practically diapers now. Yeah.
I know. And especially when you're my age.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so she said, "Can I help you, sir?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm wanting that piece of equipment there. I need it off the shelf, but I need to know how much it is." She gets her walkie-talkie, her little radio, and she goes,
Breaker 19. I got a smoky out here.
She says, "Yeah, I've got a customer out here who needs a price on the AB bench."
Oh no. Oh no. The AB bench.
The AB bench.
Okay.
I'm like, you work in an exercise store.
Yeah.
People train. People work out. It's like the muscle, right? The ab.
It's one of two things. It's an ab or Anheuser-Busch. It's and just use context clues. Where am I? Am I in a bar or am I in an exercise section of a store?
So I'm like, does it do two things? Does it A, do one thing and B, the other?
Flip it over, B.
And so now.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, I bought it.
Okay.
And still, to this day,
it's in the package.
No. It's down in the basement, and we use it. it. And so Jacob says, "Dad, I'm going to go down on the I'm going to go and use the AB bench." It's like, okay.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Pink Lady and Jeff. This variety show full of comedy, song, and dance is fun for the whole family. Join us next week with incredible guest stars Greg Evigan, Hugh Hefner, and Cheap Trick. Pink Lady and Jeff, only on NBC. Check local listings.
Oh my God. We were driving, big news today. I took Jacob to get his COVID vaccine.
I saw that picture.
In Ohio. If you're 16 and up, you can get it. So
it blew my mind. My first thing, I was going to text you and say, how did he get it?
Yeah.
And then I remembered that it's 16.
16
and then I remember that he's 16.
Yeah.
And I, 3 of my vertebrae cracked.
Yeah.
And my
how do you think I feel?
Yeah.
Do you know when his birthday comes, you know how old he's going to be? 17.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so he's old enough, and Libby, my wife, she went online and she registered him, and there was a pop-up vaccine place downtown.
What's a pop? It's like an inflatable vaccine place.
It was at a church, like the cafeteria part.
Yeah.
So I drove him down there, but while we're driving him down there, there was a commercial on the radio for the Swiffer. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what the Swiffer is?
Yeah.
You sweep your
I
floor.
didn't think they still made those.
Oh, yeah. They still make them.
Okay.
And so, granted, I'm going to remind you, this is a radio commercial.
Okay.
It's audio only.
Yeah.
On this radio commercial for the Swiffer, they said, this piece of cloth that you rub over your floor picks up all this dog hair. And the person is like using the Swiffer. And then she says, look at all that dog hair. And Jacob and I looked at each other. We're like, this is the radio. You can't look at dog hair on the radio.
Yeah. But you got a mental image when she said that about some lady holding a fist full of dog hair, like a werewolf. Took a nap in the. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Though.
Yeah, I get the point.
Yeah.
But it's like I work in TV, and we there are times where we make promos and we convert them for radio. And if there's a special part of the promo that has like a visual aid, we rewrite it for radio. Anyway, I thought that cracked me up. Another commercial that I saw, we were watching Modern Families on Hulu.
Okay.
And Modern Family is a fantastic show. There was an Acura commercial that came up, and it said that the Acura offers less gravity and more boost. I'm like, how in the hell do you offer less gravity?
Wow. My car just has the same amount of gravity all the other cars
my
has.
car has the same amount of gravity too.
Would you want less gravity
I don't
in a
think
car?
so.
You kind of want to stay on the road,
I know,
right?
it's like, son of a... Hey.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're, Doc and Marty and you're going back to...
I know.
But
if you're going to fly, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that if your car doesn't fly, you need all the gravity you can possibly get.
Yeah.
So that's
Are you
why...
sure it's Acura and not Acme? Was there a coyote driving this thing?
Nice. But anyway, so I decided I'm not going to buy an Acura because I'm kind of afraid of walking out into the parking lot at Kroger and my car's floated away because of the less gravity.
We interrupt our program for a special announcement. Congratulations to Steve Farrell, Irritable Dad Syndrome's Listener of the Week. This has been a special announcement.
Well, I mentioned Kroger. We always mention Kroger.
Yeah.
I was in Kroger today, and they have these chewy dips. Have you ever had a chewy dip?
I have, but I don't think it's the same thing.
It's on the cereal bar.
It was Kodiak. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
It's not
Skull.
It's not Skull Bandit.
That's a chewy dip.
It's a chewy dip. Anyway, it's a cereal bar.
Yeah.
And the slogan for the chewy dip is it's sloth-tastic.
Oh, no.
I'm like, my God, I picked the wrong line of work because, I mean, are you supposed to just take one word and then throw another in to it?
These days, everything goes.
It's grape-licious. It's like, what the hell?
One of my
sloth-tastic. Like, my kids don't eat slow enough as is.
One of my favorite parts of doing this show is when worlds collide, and we just had one of those moments where you said chewy dip, and the first thing that pops in my head is, I said Kodiak, but I was thinking of a Skull Bandit because I'm thinking about a toothless chewing on a Skull Bandit. Yeah, it's a chewy dip.
Well, there's chaw.
There's chaw.
You don't call it chew, you call it chaw.
Yeah. Well,
and then there's dip that you put just a pinch between the teeth and gum is all it takes.
Yeah.
And then you get gum cancer.
Yeah. But I used to dip. Did you know I used to dip?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I used to smoke.
Yeah, I can't.
The reason I dipped.
I can't imagine you dipping or smoking.
Yeah, the reason I dipped, it wasn't like I was a big dipper. But it was, I worked at an oil refinery.
Yeah.
And in the summers. And you can smoke there, but you can't, like,
you're smoking at an oil refinery.
Yeah. You can't just walk around. Yeah. You can't walk around in the units with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth, but they have like little sections. And I was going to say, you can imagine in an oil refinery, there's very few places that you can actually smoke.
Yeah.
And you absolutely can't smoke while you're out there doing your job. You can dip.
Right.
So I was such an addict that, my brand was, I was a Kodiak guy.
Okay.
And
how long did you
told me before, just in those summers, just like 3 or 4, not even that long, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years during the summer, and I didn't do it every day.
Did you see this?
I did smoke a lot, but
now this is my biggest problem with the people who dip.
Yeah.
Did you keep your spit cup with you?
I just spit on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like spit. We were outside, so I was spitting on the ground.
Because there have been people that I've worked with over the years who would dip and they would have their spit cup with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I worked with the guy that did that, and I
Yeah.
had heard that he would take drinks out of it periodically, but
God,
I never saw it.
That'll learn you.
You ever hear like a work story? Somebody
Yeah.
tells you a story about somebody, and you're like, you don't know whether it's true and that person's a psychopath, or they're telling you that to like mess with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I never could tell if that which was the case, but I can say that guy, I could totally see him drink out of the spit cup.
Yeah.
And not faze him one bit.
Yeah.
So
Well, back to Kroger. I've got a new favorite cashier
okay.
at Kroger. There's a guy, and we've got family coming to visit us for Easter, and so I was buying a lot of food today.
Okay.
And running all the stuff down the conveyor belt, or as you call it, the thing. and I bought some Cheerwine. It's a soda.
Yeah.
It was made popular in North Carolina. It used to be you could only buy it in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then for a while you could only buy it on coastal states.
Okay.
And then they expanded it, and now you can buy it here in Ohio. Thank God, it's my favorite.
Okay.
So 4 bottles of Cheerwine soda.
Yeah.
And it comes in the glass bottle. It's delicious. I'm hoping that we can get them to be a sponsor.
What's
for
it
the
taste
podcast.
like?
It tastes like cherry cola.
Okay.
Yeah, it is so good.
Yeah.
So the cashier is running all my stuff down the conveyor belt there, and he goes, "Oh, Cheerwine, hey." And he looks at me. He's like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, it's a cherry flavored soda."
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a talker.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, a few years ago, we went on a cruise, and you could bring your own sodas on the cruise. So I had a 12-pack of Cheerwine, and the cruise confiscated it because it had wine in the title, and you can't bring alcoholic beverages on.
Oh my God.
And so we get into our room after checking in and everything, and I noticed that my Cheerwine's not there.
Yeah.
So I called the front desk, and I said, "Hey, you guys took my Cheerwine." And they said, "Yeah, we confiscated that. You can't bring alcoholic beverages, but you can get it when you come back."
Yeah.
I'm like,
did you tell him it wasn't alcoholic, or did you just
I told them it was soda. Anyway, that ship had sailed.
Yeah.
There's your
literally.
metaphor. Yeah, literally. So I told the guy at Kroger this story while we're ringing up my $380 worth of groceries.
Good Lord.
I know. A lot
Did you really spend that much on
Yeah, I
food?
spent a lot of stuff. I bought stuff for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So this guy says, "Why would they do that?" And he says, "It's like, hey, Darfass, don't you know the difference between wine and soda?" I'm like, "Did you seriously just say, hey, Darfass?" It's like, is he auditioning for the podcast? It's
hey,
like
Darfass.
It's
Is
like
that the title?
It's like I'm walking through,
Yeah.
and the bagger is like, "Oh, there's that guy from the podcast. He talks about Kroger every week." Does he know my nickname is Darfin?
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, Darfast, don't you know the difference between wine and soda? And then,
You just made me think of a T-shirt idea.
hey, Darfast.
Well, hey, Darfast, but also ask me about my podcast where I talk about this place and wear it in Kroger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. But then, it's like oranges come through. I like oranges. Like I do too. That's why I'm buying them.
Yeah.
And then potato chips. Hey, I like kettle chips. Like, okay.
Yeah, but I like Ruffles better. Yeah, don't you want to say, hey, Darfass, put a ridge in it.
Don't you know the difference between Ruffles and Lay's chips?
They got ridges, mother scratcher.
God. Oh, man. Listen, last week, I had reached out and asked if anybody had any questions for the show.
I'm excited about these questions.
We had Michael Flannery as a guest, and we ran long. We had a fantastic conversation with him, and unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to answer the questions, so we're going to get to these questions tonight. One question from Steve Farrell. What spice should the Donner Party have brought with them? And I'm thinking, what? You can't go wrong with salt.
Yeah, I was gonna say salt.
Yeah, a little salt, maybe a little pepper.
I'm gonna say hot sauce.
Okay,
I'm gonna say hot sauce. I think salt is a universal spice. Anything about cooking that you read or see on the internet, and I've looked at a lot, it says that anything can be made to taste better with some salt.
Right.
But I tell you what, nothing really makes human flesh taste better than some hot sauce flapped up on that thing.
Little paprika,
paprika, fava beans. Is that the?
Yeah. Fava beans with a nice
I hate that. I hate that when people do that. I hate that when that part happens in the movie.
Tell me about your Uncle Clarice.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When he does that, is that supposed to make you like disgusted, or is it supposed to scare you?
It's supposed to send chills down your spine.
It annoys the out of me.
Yeah.
It just it takes me completely out of the movie. It puts me in the mind of the I'm in the mind of the director.
About that movie.
I love the movie, but that part is specifically, if I were the director, I would have been like, cut. What are you doing? Dude, don't do that ever again on this set. Don't do that. It's not funny. It's not scary. It's just nothing.
There were two, that movie, The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So I dated a girl, Tracy, at the time, and she and I went to see The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And she damn near pulled my arm off.
Okay.
While watching that. Yeah. I mean, that just scared the bejesus out of her.
I was going to say that kind of stuff doesn't scare me that much, but I will say that the part where Clarice is going through the house with the night vision is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. I've got to watch it again now.
Well, I just started, you know what? This is interesting.
Do you have it? Do you own it?
No.
Okay.
But on Netflix, I read an article about Hannibal. Mm-hmm. Which I never watched that when it was out or popular.
The sequel with Julianne Moore?
No. The show.
The TV show.
With Mads Mikkelsen or whatever his name is. The guy that was in Rogue One.
Michael Madsen?
No. The guy. I don't know the actor. His name is Mads Mikkelsen or Mikkel Madsen or something.
Oh, John Mendelsohn.
No.
Brian.
His first name is Mads.
Doug.
Mikkelsen.
Clint Howard.
Have you seen Rogue One?
Yeah, I've seen
the dad that designed the Death Star.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he plays a young Hannibal.
Okay.
And he does a really good, he's really creepy. He just looks creepy to begin with. So he does that really well, but it's got, there's a guy that's supposed to be like the Clarice or whatever.
There's a guy who's Clarice?
Kind of.
I mean,
it's
I know
like
Jodie
he's trying
Foster
to,
has a deep voice.
He's trying to figure out crimes, and the deal is he's eventually going to start using it. I don't know. I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes of the thing.
Okay.
But the show is so far up its own ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on. It's like you're watching it. And I was sitting right there. I was by myself down here. I just yelled out, "Who farted?"
Yeah.
But I'll get into it because I've had other shows like that grab me. But
I've heard that Bates Motel is a very good show. I don't watch it because I don't want to mess with the original Psycho.
Yeah. I never thought when I saw the original Psycho when I was little, I never thought it was that scary, but it's kind of freaky.
Well, we talked about this on the Halloween episode. The original Psycho, like 45 minutes of it, the first 45 is like so boring. It goes nowhere. You could have easily edited all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Nobody needed to and then we get there and let's go, you know. And
okay.
Yeah.
So I collective eyes roll when Mike mentions The Shining, but I got to mention this.
Okay.
I'll put a link out there for it. I'm not going to go into huge detail, but there is a new theory that the wife is the crazy one and Jack is normal. So you know what I'm talking about, the movie
Have
The
you
Shining.
seen her bangs? Chick is nuts.
She's always been off, but this theory
Shelley Duvall, right?
Yeah, Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
I don't know what her name is in the movie, but the theory is, and I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to do it really quickly because I want to take up the show with it. The theory is that she is obsessed with horror and those type of things. And there's a line early in the movie where Jack Nicholson says, "Yeah, she's into all these horror movies and serial killers." Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird line for him to say at the time in the movie. And they point out that every time the camera is filming a character from behind, it's one of her hallucinations. Of she's thinking or she's hallucinating that this is happening and everything else is really happening. And if you view the movie like that, from that perspective, all the weird haunty things and the girls and all that stuff happens during scenes like that. And everywhere else, Jack seems normal. And in the scene that really takes it out of the park is he goes crazy on her. And then the very next moment, he looks like he's a bit disturbed about something that she said. And it's in the movie, in the normal movie, it's kind of weird. And anyway, I'll put a link to it.
Anytime someone has a theory where a woman is crazy, I'm about it. Yeah. Okay.
But it's
I see your point.
Yeah.
I don't know the woman you're talking about, but I believe you.
But here's
I'm going to tell people all about it and say that I'm on your side.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I can hear the eyes rolling out there. Mike's going on about The Shining again. But I got to tell you, all the weird little things and the other theories that people spend hours and days on the internet debating, it solves all those problems. There's enough to make you think,
Are there still people debating The Shining?
There are.
Really?
Another new theory popped up yesterday. I haven't watched it yet about Jack Nicholson's character. And the reason is because Stanley Kubrick was such a perfectionist that he would spend so much time on little details that no one would care about.
It's literally been probably 30 years since I've seen The Shining.
Obsess about this stuff left and right.
I've got to watch it again because I don't remember anything about it except him running around in the snow at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen
the theory is that she killed him and took him out in the snow.
Yeah.
And if you
I totally would believe that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But I can't believe we went to The Shining. I made a promise to myself like 2 months ago I'd never bring up The Shining again on this. Because when I'm editing and I'm listening to The Shining, I was like, oh, here we go again. I annoy so people out there, if you're annoyed by this, I annoy myself. In a couple of days when I'm editing this, I'll be going, oh my God.
Right.
May not even be in the show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I love these questions.
Another question, and this is from Chris Hughes, and I wasn't going to answer it, but since his birthday, the day we record this is the day of his birthday.
Yeah,
he wanted to know what your favorite Western. And
I love Westerns.
You know what? I do too.
Yeah.
For a long time, my favorite Western was Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
You honestly can't. It's hard to find a better motion picture than Unforgiven.
Yeah,
But I'm really thinking that my favorite Western is Dances with Wolves.
Well, you took a wide right turn there.
I think
that's that movie that copied Avatar.
No. I think you got those switched around. Dances with Smurfs was Avatar.
Yeah.
And I watched Avatar a couple of months ago on the Disney Plus. It still holds up.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty good movie. But I think it's between Unforgiven and Dances with Wolves, my favorite Western.
I'm going to say, I know that there's an element of cheese to them, and I can't really stand Emilio Estevez, but the Young Guns movies. I love the Young Guns movies.
Okay.
But let's take those out of there. I'm going to have multiple ones for this. The new Magnificent Seven. Have you seen that with Chris Pratt?
No.
It's really good.
When did they do that?
It's just a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I got it over there. It's one of those where I've got like the Blu-ray and the thing. I'll show you the.
Can I borrow the
Andrew loved it.
Extra copy you have of it?
Yeah. Andrew absolutely loved it. It is really good.
Okay.
Chris Pratt with all his Chris Prattness is in it.
You know what? Chris Pratt, he totally snuck up on me because he was in
Parks and
Recreation.
Yeah.
And then exploded.
Yeah.
Holy crap. He was in the Lego movie,
Yeah.
the Jurassic World series,
Yeah.
and then a little thing called the Guardians of the Galaxy.
A little bit. And he was going to be the next Indiana Jones. There was like a brief moment, or maybe I imagined that.
that was speculation.
Yeah.
It was never.
Yeah.
He was never in consideration because they interviewed Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He says, "Who do I think should be the next one? Nobody." He says, "When I die, he dies. There will be no other Indiana Jones."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have to say, as far as Western, you have to say if you don't mention Unforgiven, then I think you get taken out in the middle of the night and beaten with soap.
That was one of those, I didn't have a lot of, and I'm not going to get into a sob story here. I didn't have a lot of things that my dad and I did together.
Yeah.
But when that movie came out, I'm like, I'm taking Dad to see this.
Me and my dad went to go see it too.
Dad and I went to see it.
Yeah.
And I would look over at him. He'd be like on the edge of a seat. It was like watching a kid like at his first baseball game or something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dad was all up in it.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there blown away at how Gene Hackman was despicable. Morgan Freeman was just fantastic.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, got to separate them hogs. One of them's got the fever. I'm like, yes, more of that.
Well, I remember going to see it with my dad. I think I've told the story here before, is that back in the day, you didn't really know much about movies. You saw the picture, you saw maybe a 30-second spot, and then suddenly you're my dad taking his kid to see RoboCop and shifting extremely uncomfortably. So I got used to the dad I'm seeing something I'm not supposed to see if I see him shift uncomfortably in his seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, for some reason, he shifted a bit. And I would look, and if he was smiling when he did that, it was like something he thought was really cool.
Right.
If he looked worried, it was something I wasn't supposed to be seeing.
Yeah.
And I remember he did that when Clint said, "It's a hell of a thing killing a man.
Yep.
You take everything he's got, everything he's going to have.
Everything he ever will have."
Yeah. And I looked over, my dad's like just grinning.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's a badass line.
William Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to say that one, the Young Young Guns movies are fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love those. But then you got to see the Magnificent Seven, the new one.
Okay.
But I will say The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly has got to be up there with me. I know that's kind of like everybody goes to that one.
Yeah.
But I only saw it recent, like within the past 5 years.
It's been a long time since I've seen it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So there's a guy named Jim Timmerman, and we've brought him up on the show a few times.
Yeah.
The other day, I get like 12 texts from him.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in years.
Yeah.
Actually physically talked to him.
Yeah.
And then I get all these texts from him. Hey, I got a great idea for the show. And hey, why don't you ask this question? Why don't you ask this question? And maybe you should ask this question. And I like, do you even listen to the podcast? Oh, no, I haven't listened to your podcast yet. So he asked us what's the difference between a shrub and a bush.
It's a number 3 and a number 5 on the trimmer.
Okay. Are you sure you're not talking about manscaping?
Oh,
hey, zing.
Okay.
And then he wanted to know he asked if I would eat a cicada on the show. On the show. And I told him
this isn't Jackass.
No, I told him that if he becomes a patron,
Factor. Yeah.
if he becomes a patron of the show, then I would eat a cicada.
Are we going there?
Is that where we're going? If he becomes a patron on the show, I'll eat a cicada.
I would put a level to that. I don't think you would want him to be
what? I'll eat one cicada.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
A level on how big a patron he becomes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got to become at least the minimum. What's the minimum?
$1.
Okay. Then let's say he becomes
There's a $5 or a $10.
If he becomes a $5 a month patron on the show, I will eat a cicada.
Here's the thing is I didn't know that this is where an ad for a patron would come from, but
right.
Yeah.
We have a patron.
Yeah. A Patreon.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a $35 level. And part of me really hopes somebody does that one. And part of me really hopes nobody does, because when that happens,
we've got to
design. No. We've
got to make this show worth $35.
We actually got to start working for it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we've got to design merchandise, because they get exclusive merchandise.
Okay.
I've got ideas of what that is. I'm not going to say it right now.
Okay. You take the coffee cup that we have and then put exclusive. Boom.
No, I think that's where the what was the shirt that we had? We had a shirt.
You need to learn more words.
No, we had you need to learn more words. But the other one, the song was written to be a song.
Oh, that definitely needs to be a T-shirt.
Yeah,
the song was written to be.
There's a few things in there we need to have. A picture of the poop in the tree.
Yeah,
it's all kinds of fun things.
Well, the other question he asks is, do you like solid chocolate Easter bunnies or hollow chocolate Easter bunnies?
That's the question. Are you a communist or an American?
Exactly.
Americans eat hollow chocolate bunnies.
Yes.
I know. And when your kid asks, where's the middle of the bunny? You say, I don't know. It's a hollow bunny. I remember the first time I bit into a solid bunny, I about broke a tooth off.
Right.
I'm used to how much force it takes to go through.
I know.
And some jackass at the it's never Hershey. Hershey wouldn't pull that crap.
No.
It's one of those Cadbury people, or one of those people from across the pond.
Yeah.
Let's fill it with the chocolate.
I think the hollow chocolate tastes better.
Yeah.
Ah.
It lets it breathe. It's like a wine glass.
You pop it in, the breath of air comes out.
You bite the ears off and go up the top of it.
Like you're playing a jug
on
the Andy Griffith show or something.
Yeah, play the Jug Bunny.
The Jug Bunnies.
Yeah, look that up on Google. Playing the Jug Bunnies.
There's a band name. All right, so we haven't had a Just Stop in a few weeks.
And I've got Just Stops.
I know. No, we took a break.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to force the Just Stop.
Some would say we became less irritable. I've heard that a lot, is that we're not that irritable.
Yeah.
We might just start to.
Well, they should have heard me in the car the other day because I went to my son's high school to pick him up after band practice. And I'm driving down the side of the school to get to the band room.
Yeah.
And there's like a dozen kids walking in the middle of the road. Just la-di-da.
Like you're not a psycho and you're going to run into them.
Exactly. I mean, I could have just...
Yeah.
I could have just taken them all out like that. You know, anybody could have.
Yeah.
And they know I'm a car. Because one of the students...
Because they've seen the movie. They know what they look like.
They've seen cars. A lot of these kids have cars.
Yeah.
Or their parents do.
Yeah.
I'm betting that every person who was walking owns a car or is related to someone who owns a car. And one of the students turns and looks and goes, oh. and then they just kept walking. And they're just la-di-da. So I'm driving...
That's the one the sniper would have taken out back in the bush.
Yeah, I'm driving like less than 1 mile an hour. Just, just waiing for them to get out
You're doing
of the road.
The engine idle crawl down the thing.
I mean, I should have, did one of those things. And they finally just got, do I honk and be an
Yeah.
Probably should have, but I didn't because I'm not and I just kept waiting, and they finally got out of the road. Yeah. And then, like, the couple of days later, I'm at Kroger, and I'm trying to get to my parking spot, and there's someone walking down the middle of the road with their card, looking for their car.
Yeah.
I'm like, walk to the right or walk to the left so that people can drive and park.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for miracles here. I just want you to it's for your own safety. Someone cuts around and is not paying attention. I always pay attention when I drive, but someone might not be, and then you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just stop walking
stop with that.
in the middle of the damn road.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So last week we mentioned a new series on the show called Concert Stories.
Yeah.
And do you want to share some? Because I've got a couple of good ones.
I've got a couple. I'm afraid I've already told one of them, but I'll tell it again because nobody's listening anyway.
Okay.
Me and a friend of mine won tickets to see Sammy Hagar on the Mas Tequila. Remember Mas Tequila?
I love that song.
Was famous.
I know
I've told this story. I'm going to tell it again.
I don't remember this story.
So we were engineers. We're sitting in the thing. Imagine...
We're engineers, and we were sitting in the thing.
We shared an office. It was similar to this. Like you and I are sharing an office right now.
Right.
And we were sizing safety relief valves. Okay. Right?
What does this have to do with Sammy Hagar?
I'll tell you. Just imagine two engineers sitting at their computers in an office.
Man, you guys know how to party.
They've got the radio on. We're just like, typing and tapping on the thing. And Sammy Hagar comes on. And the song, done shot, hey, Mas Tequila, 2 shots, hey.
Yeah.
Yay, Banero, or whatever. Yeah. So we're sitting there, we're just typing the thing. And he starts saying, 1 shot. And we both raise our, hey, 2 shots, hey. And we raise our arms at the same time every time. And we did that for weeks.
Because you guys are cool.
Yeah. We thought it was hilarious in our nerdiness. We would bust out laughing at the end of every song time that happened. Anyway, one of the times it came on the radio, they said the 5th caller will get free tickets to see Sammy Hagar in Columbus. So we called, and I was the 5th freaking caller.
Nice.
We got tickets. We went to see Sammy Hagar. Yeah. We got another buddy of mine just came to buy a ticket to the show because we found out the tickets were like in the lawn or like the worst. It was at the Polaris, way back. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember where it was. But we were out. It was one of those. It was like outside. So we're way in the back. And my buddy that I shared the office with brought a bunch of those little bottles, the little airplane bottles of tequila. Mm-hmm. And the deal was, this is how hardcore we were.
Yeah.
When that song came on, we were going to do a shot each time along with it. One shot, 2 shots. There's a lot of shots in that song.
45 shots.
And we were not pacing ourselves at all. So we had beer and everything going on. And then that thing comes on and he's passing out the tequila bottles. All through the show, we didn't recognize or we didn't notice that there was a very large, shaven-headed man in front of us in a leather jacket with his girlfriend right next to him. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Didn't notice him until those tequila. So what do you do when you are blitzed at a Sammy Hagar show and you're down in tequila bottles and you throw them forward into the crowd?
Oh no.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Which was fun because we weren't the only ones doing that, by the way. Other people were throwing things forward in the thing, but all of us had the sense to throw them as far forward as we could, like getting up into like row 10 and 15.
Uh-huh.
My buddy Rick, right next to me, flung his tequila bottle, bonk, right in the back of the head of the guy.
Uh-huh.
And he turned around, and I know you're in your head, you're imagining that he had a handlebar mustache. He totally had a handlebar mustache, and he was huge. It was like the guy in Stir Crazy that was in the cell with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that Gene Wilder grabbed with Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
On the deal.
He was like him. He turned around and he knew it. Thank God he stared right at Rick. He knew it was him because me and my other buddy were like totally ready to just like throw Rick under the bus. We didn't have to do that. So I could say that I didn't throw him under the bus, but I totally would have thrown him under the bus.
Yeah.
He turned around and he stared at Rick, and Rick stared at him, and then the guy, for some reason, pointed to his girlfriend/wife, and then gestured toward him like, "You like her?" Like that. And Rick went, "No, I got a girlfriend." And the guy's like, "Oh," and turned around and went back to the show. And we had that same look on our face. We're like, what just happened?
What was that?
You went from having fun to almost dying to, did he offer you his wife?
Right.
Is that what happened? And we were terrified at the end of the show that whatever he was on would lose effect.
Right.
And he would realize that he's supposed to kick Rick's ass. He didn't. He just nodded to us. They left. It was an odd experience. And it was an odd experience encompassed in a lot of tequila with Sammy Hagar. So
I've got a buddy.
Yeah.
And his real name is George.
Okay.
But he goes by Tad. And I don't know why he does that. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend, and we've been to a bunch of concerts together. Well, not last summer, but the summer before last, we went to see Deep Purple and Judas Priest.
Good God, how old is Deep Purple? Did they go out on their walkers?
1,000, yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that that I only knew one Deep Purple song.
It's either Hush or American, or what is it? Highway.
Smoke on the Water.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So
okay.
I was more excited to see Judas Priest.
Okay.
Because I want to see Breaking the Law. Yeah. Got another thing coming. I couldn't wait. I was so excited to see Judas Priest. And then I thought Deep Purple will be good too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're on the lawn.
Yeah.
And we're watching the show.
Yeah.
And this drunk guy comes up to us.
Okay.
And he buddies right up to my friend Tad.
Yeah.
He's right next to him. And he's singing.
Yeah.
All the songs to Tad. And he leans over. Living after midnight. Rocking to the dawn. Living after And we would like move over, and he would move over. We would move up, he would move up. We would step back, he would step back.
You kind of lost puppy.
And he would not leave us alone. And so Ted and I, we looked at each other, we're like, let's bolt.
Yeah.
Let's just, and he says, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, 3, 2, 1. And we just ran.
Yeah.
Like as fast as you could run.
Yeah.
We ran to the left. We zigged up, took a left and back, and then we were like standing at the t-shirts. We're like, and we turned to our right. Hey guys, how's it going? What? How? How?
Yeah.
How did he?
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon. Foghorn Leghorn, and runs and there's it's right there. And so finally, we had to be like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We're trying to watch a show.
Okay.
Because you never know who you're going to start something with.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, we're trying to enjoy the show. Okay. Yeah. You're going to have to leave us alone. And then he just drops his head and sulks. And he just walks like we'd killed his dog. Like he's walking in the rain.
Yeah.
And then he goes off and he just sits on the lawn for the rest of the show. And we're like, oh, great. Now we're just.
Now you're.
Yeah, I know. And all he wanted to do was sing every song to us.
At a show, he wants to sing every song. Okay. So I got a story that involves Box.
Okay, Matt
Again,
Box.
Another Matt Box. We went to go see White Zombie.
Yeah.
And this is when Astro Creep 2000. It was Astro Creep 2000 tour. We saw him in Hera Arena, Dayton. So we were at OU. We drove there. It was me, Box, friend Sid, and Jerry. Okay. So we all go. Now I think I'm the only real White Zombie fan in that group. I think Sid everybody kind of was curious. Box was probably like the least, but he was curious about him as well. So we go there. Now our seats it's in Hera Arena where we're stage center as far back as you can get on the main row there. Our backs, like right behind us, is the wall of the arena. Okay. That's how far back we are. Go through the whole show. It was a great show. Okay. He jumps out like a madman.
Yeah.
You know, this is before he was he was Rob Zombie, but before he broke, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he was like, you could tell he was auditioning, to be the next performer. He's a performer.
He is absolutely a performer.
They go through their whole thing, and it's very Astro Creep focused. Then they do some encores and stuff. They still haven't played the song that everybody knows, which is Thunder Kiss 65. Okay. Now let me paint the picture for you. There was a lot of moshing going on right in front of the stage, and we're looking at it like you would be, looking at a nature documentary, because we're so far away from it. We're like, oh, look, it would be horrible to be down there. Oh, look, I think that might be a knife sticking out of that guy's head. That's terrible.
Right.
The intro that I now know as the intro to Thunder Kiss 65 started, and that intro was every light in the house came up, and it was red, and then it starts going ding, 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 ding. And we're like, ready to hear the song.
Yep.
And then we start to notice that the mosh pit is expanding, and becomes everybody in general admission on the floor.
Right.
And then we see that people in the rows of this section in front of our section are starting to mosh. And then we see our section is starting to mosh, and all four of us got up, our backs completely against the wall, and we thought we were going to die, because all it would have taken was anybody in the pit that was now the entire arena to turn around and notice that there's four jerks back here that aren't participating, grab us and pull us into it.
Yeah.
And so the entirety of Thunder Kiss 65, we were standing with our backs to the wall thinking we were going to die in a mosh pit. I've never seen anything like that except at a Collective Soul show, which I'll touch on briefly.
Okay.
We went to see Collective Soul at Bogart's.
Okay.
I got pictures of Bess was, right next to the tour bus. Some guy started a fight. The only time I've ever been involved or seen a fight in a show outside of there was one at the Slayer show, but that's a different story. Right before they did Shine, which, Collective Soul, I love Collective Soul.
Oh, I do too. I've got all their stuff.
They have tons of stuff. So Shine's kind of like an old hit now, but it's still like the one that gets people going. Some guy started a fight with somebody right next to us, shoving. It became like a mosh thing and pushed me and Bess out. And while Shine was going on, so we couldn't enjoy Shine. So I told her, this reminds me of Thunder Kiss 65 back at the White Zombie show in Dayton.
Yeah. There was a big mosh pit at Offspring, but I'm going to save that for next week.
And I'll save the Slayer. Remind me to do the Slayer show next week.
But
because this thing's long now.
Yeah. Well, one more.
Okay.
Years ago, I was in Johnson City, Tennessee, Freedom Hall Civic Center.
Yeah.
We were outside in line to see Kiss.
Yeah.
And we're all waiting in line. And there was a brunette, and all my friends were eyeing her, and she's gorgeous. She's really gorgeous. And I'm trying to figure out something about her, right?
Yeah.
Well, she turns around and starts walking the other way, and all my friends are like, and I just looked at her and I said, I think I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
And my buddy, Corey, goes, wow, you're using that pickup line. And she looks and she goes, you do know me from somewhere. I'm Bill's boyfriend. I was at Jenny Moody's party, her Halloween party last year. I'm like, yeah, that's right. She goes, nice to see you again, Darin, right? I'm like, yeah, Darin. And then she walks off, and everyone was so pissed
that you actually.
I'm like, come on, is it possible?
Yeah.
Is it impossible that I wouldn't actually know somebody? So.
That's awesome.
Well, listen. This was episode 32. We want to thank you for listening, and we want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and we encourage you to become a Patreon. And it's like if you want to go back and listen to old episodes, they're all there. They're all there on irritabledadsyndrome.com. We want you to subscribe, and we want you to share the word, because last month was our most popular month ever.
Yeah. And it's important. Another reason it's important for you to subscribe, obviously, if you like the show. But one thing we've learned is that Apple Podcasts has been putting our show up late, and it's a common thing with the podcast community. They're not doing it late; they're just doing it in their own time. But I've learned that if you're subscribed to our show, or if you follow or whatever it is on Apple, that you get it before it actually pops up there for everybody else. Right. So that's a good reason to do that. Same thing with Spotify. We have, go check out our Patreon. We've got a number of different things, including voting on the show titles. Mm-hmm. There's the exclusive merch part, which if you want to make Mike and Darin go to work, that's the one to pick, because we have to do a lot of stuff there. And then there's some other things, bonus episodes that we're going to do and things like that you get some access to. Review us. That does a lot of stuff for us in terms of, promoting the show.
But most importantly, we want to thank you for listening, and we really appreciate it. So have a great time, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Check out previous episodes, cool merchandise, and sexy photos of the hosts at irritabledadsyndrome.com.